Hey, it's Mac with PriceActionTradingSystem.com, and it is Wednesday. It's June 12th. This will be our chart listing for today, and it's just all sideways today, and it really got tight this afternoon. Really from about 11 o'clock on, we were in the lower half of this two-tiered range, but really we spent most of the afternoon even tighter than that. So there just wasn't a lot of movement today. There's still a good many trades here. Um, But yeah, it was a very slow, kind of typical summer day. This is kind of how it usually is in the summer, most of the summer. I mean, we've had some really volatile days lately, so they're kind of different for this time of year. This looks like more of a normal day you would see during the summer doldrums, as I like to call them. But you never know what the markets are going to throw at you, so that's why we don't just come in here every day and just assume, hey, nothing's good's going to happen and it's just going to be sideways because you never know when you're going to get that surprise. Um, and when it does go sideways like this, I actually like these kind of days if you get a consistent lower area. I mean, notice how prices bounced here off these lows consistently and then fairly consistently off these highs. When it's like that, I kind of enjoy, like that kind of trading because it's very predictable. But when the bigger picture, notice how, we're bouncing at different lows here all the way across, and we're bouncing at different highs until maybe from 10 o'clock on, we turned down at the same high every time. So it was a little better. But, when it's real predictable and you're consistently turning off the same resistance point and the same support points, kind of like this right here, I tend to like this trading. Um, Otherwise, when it's bouncing different places, it just makes it a little harder. You just about have to have enough room to have a trend and then kind of follow the trend rules. So anyway, I'm going to back out. We'll talk about these trades and we'll wrap up the day. But yeah, this is just a range there. You can see the overnight high here, overnight low, and we never got outside either one of them all day long. That's and you can see we're just going up and down, and just getting tighter and tighter. So um, anyway, let's talk about the trades. 7 o'clock came right in here just as it's bouncing, and you got a second entry long here. You've already got, on the way down, you've already got a break and a couple of legs to a new low, and then this is what a good reversal pattern looks like. Look how it goes right through that EMA, and then you get a first entry, and then a second entry, and it actually closes above that EMA. I like it when it really even better when it bounces off the EMA, but this is your clue right here when it shoots straight through. It doesn't always mean that's the end of the down move, but generally it does. Um, Here's a good example here. Here's an up move, and we just shot straight through, but it didn't quite mean the end of the up move. So, um, but anyway, that move, and then a second entry long right here with that strong signal bar. I like that, especially knowing that it's looking like a range day, and the fact that this is played out. So this turns out to be a good long. And then you get another second entry long right here, and it actually broke lower and turns and goes out right here. I like going long right there. At this point, it's looking like a range day, and you're just looking for prices to come back and test the high somewhere up near these closes to between these closes and this high. And that's right around where it turns down again. And then it pulls through here. But that's the first break of this trend line. But a lot of times you can't play the trend lines the same, a break and a new high because there's not enough room, and the support and resistance of the range really is the more dominant pattern and kind of takes the charge. But here, when it started going higher again, you definitely want to try to trade that if you got enough room, and you can see there's plenty of room to get back out here. So um, anyway, you shoot down here, you get a break, try to go lower, and you close, and you get it actually goes lower and breaks lower and then turns and goes out the other side. With those four matching highs, I would probably wait on this bar and put a buy stop right there. I don't think I would, even though it played all out on one bar, I don't know if I'd play that or not. You could. And this is a little risky with it pushing through that EMA like that, so that's why I marked this one green. You'd really rather see a reversal pattern. And you get a failed second entry short right there. And So if it breaks above there, it's probably going to go up and try to test this high. And that's what happens. And then, of course, we get a little double test. You made this high, you test it once, you test it twice, and you make a lower high right here. Got a double top, lower high. I like going short. You may only come back to the EMA, and so you really kind of want to make sure you got enough room to get out there. But then you get a failed second entry long right here, and this actually breaks higher and turns and goes out the other side. I like going short there. I don't know if I'd wait on that big long bar and then go short right down here, because you're almost back to the other side of the channel again. So only way I would play that would be when my sell stopped one tick below, so when it broke higher and turned down, if it goes out the other side, go with it. You get two legs back right here. There's a hidden second entry, but I don't like that signal bar. It does turn out to work, but you got a new high there too. And so you get a first entry, and then you really get a second entry right there. But when it tries to go higher again, I like going short right there. And hopefully you're going to get another measured leg down like this first leg. You know, we're always looking for measured legs. Sometimes I forget to point them out, but we actually went a little further. Your hope here is at this point is that we're going to come all the way down and test this low. And so you'd like to go with it on a second entry short right there. And really this is kind of sideways, and this is like a little two-legged back to the EMA. We're still making lower highs and lower lows here, so I like that second entry short right there. There's another little jog back up here with a big bearish bar, but it gaps over and just goes straight down. I doubt you could get in that. I wouldn't take it anyway. We've already had a break up here. Now we've got more than two legs down. So, and then it rockets out here. This looks like it might be a reversal. Not a very good signal bar, and you never get the reversal. So then it turns back down, and you get a first entry long, second entry long, and this one goes higher and turns and goes out, and that's a second entry short as well. I like going short right there. This is another one I would only go short when it broke higher. When it turns back down, I would only go short one tick below that bar, because that's where the second entry triggers. If you're down here, you've really waited too late, and your trend line's not really matching here. Because you have to almost come off that close on the high right there, and then notice how it fits down here, and we're not back to it right there. So that's a little bit concerning. It does go on down, but it does come back again, and you actually get a break here. And there's another second entry short right here. Note that's a double bottom. So first entry, second entry, and that's definitely two legs up. And this actually went higher and then turns and goes out the other side again. That's a big bar. So on this one, you'd probably want to go short one tick below that bar. When it broke higher and you start seeing it go down, you're anticipating that, and you just put a sell stop right there. And if it goes through it, great. If it doesn't, then you can reassess it, cancel the order, whatever, or you can move it up to if it's one tick below this one, if it's a higher close or whatever. Then it's almost an inside bar, but still it's the signal bar because it made the highest point of the swing if it breaks below that bar. But that's a really big bar. You might go short there, but you'd want to have enough room to get out before here. Otherwise, I'd only enter up here, or I'd let it break below this one and I'd drop a limit order further back up here where I got enough room. That'd be the only two ways I'd enter that one. You get another second entry short here, but you've already had a break and a new low. This looks a little bit congestive as well, but notice there's first entry, and then there's a higher low there. So when it broke lower, it's a second entry, but I wouldn't take that out of that congestion. We've already had a break and a new low. We don't quite have a measured move yet. A measured move is putting you down here near the lows, but I just wouldn't risk that. You actually get another second entry here. Notice there's no reversal pattern yet, really. That one's a possibility, but after just coming off the lows, which you can see right there, you know, it's pretty risky to go short here again, but you know, you could argue for it. It's a second entry. We're not pushing through that EMA there at all. Well, actually, we pushed through it a little bit, but we closed right back below it. So you might consider that one. I'll give it a green. It's a good setup, but the problem is we just came off the lows of what looks to be a range day. But you never know. Maybe we're going to keep going lower, so it might be worth risking it there. I just think it's a little premature. And then of course we do break lower here and then turn and bounce up, and you get a big bullish bar. This could be one of those important lows of the day, so you may want to take the risk on that one. It's definitely a little risky. It's definitely aggressive. The better part is to wait on a higher low that hopefully closes through this EMA. And this actually broke. Actually, I don't know how this one broke, to be honest. I think it actually went up and then traded down and then traded all the way back up. So I'm not 100% certain how that bar played out, but I would wait on it to close and put my buy stop right there if I'm going to trade this. And if it did break lower first and then go out the other side, I wouldn't. I'd be good with a buy stop right there. But I don't know for sure it played out that way. Um, then of course it's just running up this trend line, and you get a little close outside, new high, and it drops. Um, I there is a second entry short right there, but this thing is really too strong. There's not a lot of room back to that EMA there, and there's a good chance you get another push up because we just came off the lows. So I'd want some kind of reversal type pattern before I considered going short here. And so notice we run up here and we find resistance right there where we did before at the midline. You try to go higher again, and this one never broke higher. Just, it's just trading, and look how big that bar is. So don't go short down here because you see what happened. Wait on a lower high, and you get that right here. There's a failed second entry long right here. Notice that high, first entry, second entry. This is a good example. I've been waiting to see one of these and think about it at the same time. But notice how that doesn't really look like two legs. It just looks like a little congestion there almost, and then you get a leg down and then a correction. This looks like two legs down. So that is partly of how I would use the context of what the price action is doing to tell me if I want to count this as a double top as a new high, or if I want to count this as a first entry and this is a second entry. Because you can count them both ways, but you kind of want to play the context, and even that's not 100%. Sometimes I'll play it both ways if I like it both ways. But notice how that just doesn't really look like a leg. It just looks like prices are kind of moving sideways, and then you get a leg down, and then this looks like another leg down. So to me, I would count that as the high. This is a first entry, and this is a second entry. And then when it fails here on the failed second entry long, I like going short. And you got plenty of room to get out. It actually goes a little further. This looks almost like a little repeat pattern of this right here. Notice there's a higher low right there, and this, but there hadn't been enough. That low is higher than this low, so basically this low is lower than that one, and this low is lower than that one. So there's not really some consistent support across there. So I don't trust that yet. I'd wait on the reversal, and notice we do push through the EMA, pull back, and then go forward. I like going long when it breaks above that bar right there. If you've got enough room right here to get out, I wouldn't even have a problem using a buy stop right there. And that takes you in the 2 o'clock hour. I'll mark this green because I'm not sure how this bar played out either. I don't know if it broke higher first or broke lower first. I'm not sure. I wasn't watching this when this happened here. This was like right at the 2 o'clock, and I was not watching it. I was not at the screen at that moment, so I'm not sure how that really played out. But based on what I just told you, you could even go long above that bar if you got enough room to get out. So I marked it green. It's not a perfect setup, but this looks a little like a failed break lower. This is a little bit of a reversal pattern. So anyway, that's what I saw today. Just trying to see if there's anything else here that's interesting. Notice we did have this gap this morning. That's where we closed yesterday, and this is where the 8 o'clock opened, so it didn't take long to fill that gap. And then notice where we closed, right about where we opened. So not much movement at all. I mean, we had some movement, but not much change in the market at all, really. Um, I take that back. Actually, there's a little bit of change from yesterday because we closed up here. This was the open. So even though we closed right around where the open is, it looks like there's still 83, 4 point change in the market today, down 4 points from yesterday. Not much at all in the big scheme of things. So anyway, that's what I saw today. Um, Not much else to say about today. It's just a sideways day that got tighter as the day went on. Not much price action in the afternoon. Really, from 11 o'clock to 2, there really was nothing there. You can see I've got 2 trades marked. There's some green ones in there, but this can really chop you up. You got to be careful with it. So, I mean, you got to read this almost perfectly, and that's hard. This is hard stuff to read. So, you're almost better off to stay out of that stuff, especially that late in the day. Because if you screw up here right before 2 o'clock, you don't have time to make it up. That's the thing. And so anyway, I'm going to wrap it up. We'll be back again tomorrow to wrap up our week, but I'm done for today. This is Mac with PriceActionTradingSystem.com, and we'll see you next time.